Hey, what's going on, guys? We're here to talk all about more of that Doomsday Dawn AP. We've got a little bit of AP review here today with the mirrors. I actually got it right the first time. Look at me go. Over there. That's my wall. Over there, the Mirrored Moon, Chapter 4 of the Pathfinder playtest adventure, which was, for a couple of reasons, a blast. I really enjoyed myself. It continues to drive the plot of the overall story, although it kind of felt a little forced at times, like, why are we here? This is new. But it also runs alongside the Kingmaker AP, which is all the rage right now, what with, a CRPG and stuff. But anyway, down to it. At the very back of Doomsday Dawn, you find this map here, and that's the map that Mirrored Moon takes place in. The party has 60 days to find friends, make friends, find allies, find treasure, things of that nature, and fight off the Night Heralds before the night of an eclipse where a moose boar is summoned. Of course, my party hasn't exactly had the best endings in Doomsday Dawn so far, so we did play with a lot of the AP, as I honestly encourage a lot of people to do when they're playing pre-published adventures, because make it your own. You'll have more fun. And because, Dr. Ocellar super died and they couldn't get the information. So there were a couple of variables changed. For starters, instead of a 60-day time clock, they had a 30. And they did finish on time, but they finished the day before they would have TPK'd. Also, you're supposed to know a little more about the map, but I decided that to reflect the fact that they brought someone who the Esoteric Order was pretty much blaming for the death of Verid Ocellar, or at least the destruction of his brain, to this adventure, Kellery would be a little less giving of information and be a little too stressed and busy to have her ear to the ground. So the long and short of Mirrored Moon is it's supposed to test a party against the one encounter a day system. If they have all their resources and they go for broke, how good can they do? Now, Kellery is supposed to basically tell the party about everything. I decided she would only tell the party about that which she could see, that being the rocks that are up yonder here-ish, though I did move everything around a square apart just to keep my party guessing. So she'd heard no rumors of a sea monster, a little bit about a dragon, no cyclopses, no dryad, and that's where the fun begins. I had two separate parties in the Mirrored Moon because the Mirrored Moon was my first ever not plot-based, not, okay guys, we're going to convert to the playtest, I'm going to kill your characters, you can come back as Celestials or reroll, your call, total party kill. We had some absences in the first little bit, so I just had a 3-man party at the beginning. We had a human sorceress, a human cleric, and a human fighter. They basically, after confronting that dryad and not doing the best and making the dryad super angry and running from treants, they went to the lake and they were very hinted that there's a barge under there. But the whole encounter kind of just screams monster from the depths. Nevertheless, they went for it. And when they went for it, what I mean by that is Robin, his fighter, takes off his plate mail, leaves his shield on the shore, and goes swimming down, where I, Tommy, the GM, knows there's a sea serpent. And so the whole time I'm just, okay, yeah, you can do that. Just hiding the poker face, right? And of course, the fighter, caught with his literal pants, I guess not down so much as back on the shore, died pretty quick to the sea serpent. Sea serpents also can spit basically psychotropic acid at folk now, so the sorceress and cleric were quickly confused, and they took the sea serpent to Wounded 1, but it did result in nuking the party. Now, do I think it would have been different if I had my full expected 5-man party? Maybe. I can't really say. RNG was pretty mean there, and honestly, I could make a whole playtest video about the Sea Serpent and the playtest because it has so many more tricks now that it can do. It's truly impressive, and that's one of the things I'm liking the most about this playtest is, from what I'm seeing, the monsters aren't just here's a stat block. Is it cat-like? Cool. Pounce! Is it a dragon? Okay. Breath weapon. Frightful presence. Yeah! Right, all the monsters are in and of themselves unique encounters. I really like that. Now, of course, Robin did go on vacation for the rest of Mirrored Moon and change, which is why last week we didn't go straight into Heroes of Endoran. Nevertheless, the party did return a 4-piece elf ranger, elf druid, human monk, half-elf cleric, who I decided to give a horse because they'd run out of time and everyone else was literally at this point building for Sanic speed because like the board has a lot of ground to cover. Without that, I can honestly say they wouldn't have been able to pull off as many of the things as they did, and they would have died to the moose boar. Another thing I ended up changing is down where the Cyclops fight takes place, I decided, since the Cyclopses are Aobarian, that was the only language they could speak. It was pointed out by one of my players in the playtest that the language gap is a lot bigger than it used to be back in the day. It's a lot harder to access languages, it's a lot harder to cast into them, and so like it's actually a barrier. Whereas before you'd have the wizard who's out the gate with, 6, 7 languages, depending on, what race he is. I think it's neat. I think it makes a sort of, low magic in high magic setting kind of thing, in the same way, poisons are as powerful as they are. I really like that. But I can see how a lot of people would not. It did kind of stymie the party for a little while. I decided I would have the red dragon attack there. And honestly, the only other thing I've really taken away from this playtest is that Monk is just powerful. Yes, I gave Ojutai some Magic the Gathering Ojutai Monk flavored stuff because it was Anthony's birthday. I firmly believe, playtest or otherwise, your birthday should be celebrated if you're with me. So he got a once a day Cone of Cold and a free Frost Rune on his Punchin', not realizing the dragon was vulnerable. But I don't think that tipped the scales so much as this dude's just critting and he's just overhand chopping a dragon's neck to death. It's incredibly powerful. Now, they didn't fight the rocks. Ultimately, the Cyclopses and the Druid just kind of petered themselves out. And they did ally with the gnomes, as well as the fire giant after the dragon was dead. And they had enough resources. The treasure points were used. I'm not sure exactly how much benefit they had to hit that final fight. At first, I was a little perturbed when I realized the rocks were attacking the gnome village of Korlalabin because the buildings were orange, and it confused and scared them. But it's really hilarious when the gnomes join the party and realize that's how they can attack the Night Heralds with no, martial prowess. Just prestidigitate something orange. And oops, now the rocks are mad. The party had a lot of fun with besieging the camp. I basically ran that raw, if you have this many friends, this is how many people are scared off. And they had the best encounter possible. That encounter was very well balanced. Without the hero point, I would have killed Ojutai. But Ojutai was kind of my only, front row center dude. Which is fine, because then the druid enlarges him and many punches happen. And it was really fun to watch. But it also was, honestly, the first fight in this adventure that wasn't skewed one way or the other in favor of someone. A lot of the fights have been just really easy. The blaster caster walks up and says, "Bam!" And then everyone burns up and dies horribly, or it's really close to a TPK. There's really not an in-between. All in all, if I had any regret about this map, I would say that I wish there was more. Personally, I really love exploration adventures. I really like turning the Fog of War on a hex map and just X hexes is X miles and put 10 good things and 10 bad things on a map and the party discovers them or they don't. Some things wandering around, things of that nature. It's a lot of fun for me. That was the first real map I ever made in terms of a big kind of chapter of a campaign in my early baby 3.5 days, as opposed to just go grab some poster board. This is a town. These dice are zombies. The Walking Dead is popular still. I still like The Walking Dead, for the record. It's kind of reminiscent of that to me. I really wish there was more to it. Anyway, this Friday on Twitch at 7 Central, we will be starting the Heroes of Undarin. And hey, Ellie, if you're listening, you won the giveaway. I'll message you again on the Lycanthrope video. Make sure that we can get it going, get you in the Discord, because the roll-up is a little more strict for Heroes of Undarin, but you're in. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, have you played through this? How are encounters going for you in Doomsday Dawn and in this? Because when I see things get buffed or nerfed, sometimes I'm still kind of why does the blaster have extra dice? I don't think they need it. I've seen so many things just snap, poof, dead. And I'm really curious how your tables are playing out, how your barbarians are playing out, how your blasters, how everything is, and what data you're gathering. Because I'm just one AP, right? I'm just one dude running it, and obviously that's a skewed perception of how the meta works. So let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.